The future has not happened yet. You are certain of this. Tomorrow does not exist. Next year does not exist. The moment of your death does not exist yet. These things are waiting somewhere ahead of you, unwritten, undecided, not yet real. This is the most basic assumption you have ever made about time. Physics says you're wrong. Not probably wrong, not philosophically wrong. Mathematically, experimentally, demonstrably wrong. The same equations that power every GPS satellite on Earth, confirmed by experiment thousands of times, point toward a conclusion so strange it should stop you cold. The future already exists, all of it. So right now, I want to begin with a thought experiment. Not a complicated one, not one that requires any mathematics, just a simple scenario that if you follow it carefully, leads somewhere that should genuinely disturb you. Imagine you're standing on a railway platform. A train passes you at an enormous speed, let us say half the speed of light. On the train, a passenger is sitting at the center of the carriage. At the exact moment she passes you, two lightning bolts strike simultaneously, one at the front of the train, one at the back. From your position on the platform, you are equidistant from both strikes. Both flashes of light travel toward you at the same speed from equal distances. They arrive at your eyes at the same moment. The strikes were simultaneous. You're certain of this. You measured it. Now ask what the passenger on the train measured. She is moving forward. She is moving toward the front of the train and away from the back. The flash from the front reaches her before the flash from the rear, not because of her reaction time, not because of any limitation in her instruments, but because the speed of light is the same in all directions, regardless of how fast she is moving. The front flash had less distance to travel to reach her than the rear flash did. For her, the strikes were not simultaneous. The front strike happened first, then the rear strike, same two events, same physical universe, same speed of light. Two completely irreconcilable accounts of which happened first. And here's the question that has no comfortable answer. Which one of them is right? The answer that special relativity forces on us is both. Neither account is more correct than the other. There's no privileged reference frame. There is no cosmic umpire who can rule on the true order of events. The platform observer is right that the strikes were simultaneous. The train passenger is right that the front strike happened first. And this apparently simple disagreement, followed all the way to its logical conclusion, leads directly to the conclusion that the future already exists. Let me show you exactly how. To follow the argument properly, we need to understand what the disagreement about simultaneity actually implies. In Newton's universe, the universe that every human being intuitively inhabits, time is absolute, universal, the same everywhere. There is a single cosmic clock ticking at the same rate for every observer, every particle, every galaxy in existence. When that clock marks a particular instant, it marks the same instant for everything in the universe simultaneously. The present moment is a thin, sharp, universal slice cutting through all of reality at once. The presentist and growing blocker both agree that the present is completely universal. In any place of the universe, what occurs in a moment is the exact same moment as in any other place. Every existing thing is simultaneous with any other existent thing. This is what presentism says. Only the present exists. The past was real, but is now gone. The future will be real, but does not yet exist. Reality is a thin moving edge, the present moment sliding from past to future. And only what sits on that edge is real right now. This matches every intuition we have. This is how time feels from the inside. The past is memory and the future is anticipation, and only this moment right now is genuinely real. Einstein destroyed this picture in 1905, and the destruction was complete. Special relativity says that the speed of light is the same for every observer, regardless of their motion. This single postulate, confirmed by experiment to extraordinary precision, has a consequence that, when followed all the way through, eliminates the universal present moment entirely. According to special relativity, simultaneity is relative, not absolute. This implies that there is no universal, now stretched out across the entire universe. One observer's present can be another's past or future. In the thought experiment I described, the platform observer and the train passenger genuinely disagree about which events are simultaneous. Neither is wrong, neither is making a measurement error. The disagreement is real and physical and ineliminable. Different observers moving at different velocities have genuinely different sets of events that they consider to be happening right now. But now consider what this means for existence. If the present moment is what exists, if reality consists only of what is happening now, then whose now defines what exists? The platform observers now includes both lightning strikes happening simultaneously. The train passengers now includes the front strike having already happened and the rear strike not yet having occurred. These are different sets of events. Different things exist depending on whose now you use. And there is no physical basis for choosing one observer's now over another's. Assuming the universe is four-dimensional spacetime, then all events exist unconditionally. The classical argument for eternalism was devised in the 1960s by Riedeck in 1966 and Putnam in 1967. In 1967, the philosopher Hilary Putnam published a paper that made this argument with mathematical precision. He showed that if you take the relativity of simultaneity seriously, and every experiment we have ever done confirms that you must, then presentism is untenable. The only coherent position is eternalism. Putnam concluded in 1967 that it follows from special relativity that any future event is already real. Any future event is already real. Your tomorrow already exists. Your next year already exists. The moment of your death already exists. Not as a prediction, not as a probability, as a real existing event at a fixed coordinate in the four-dimensional structure of space-time. This is the block universe, and it is not a metaphor or a philosophical speculation. It is the direct geometrical consequence of the equations of special relativity. In 1908, the mathematician Hermann Minkowski showed that Einstein's equations have a geometrical meaning. Space and time are not two separate things, an arena and a clock. They are two dimensions of a single unified four-dimensional structure, space-time. And in this structure, every event, past, present, and future, exists as a fixed, unchanging coordinate. The block universe is already filled with every event that ever happens. It is where what are traditionally dubbed the past, present, and future exists simultaneously, not as classically flowing linearly from one to the other. These three distinct aspects to time, which by definition exclude the notion of tense, are equally real. None is in any way advantaged over the others. Think of it this way. Space has three dimensions. You can move north or south, east or west, up or down. No direction of space is more real than any other. The north side of the room is just as real as the south side. The fact that you are currently standing in the center does not make the north wall less real than the wall you are touching. The block universe says time is the same. The block universe theory, or eternalism, suggests that time is a four-dimensional block where past, present, and future events coexist simultaneously. All points in time, past, present, and future, are equally real. The moment you were born is a coordinate in the four-dimensional structure of space-time. It is not gone. It is not absent. It exists as surely as the north wall of a room exists when you're standing at the south wall. The moment you will die is also a coordinate. Already fixed, already real. Already there in the same sense that a location in space that you have not yet reached is already there. The future is not waiting to happen. It already exists. You're moving toward it the way you move through space, not creating it as you go, but approaching coordinates that are already there. Now I want to show you the argument in its most precise form. The argument that makes this not just a philosophical position, but something that follows directly from the physics. Consider two observers. Alice is standing still. Bob is walking past her at a slow, ordinary walking speed, say 5 kilometers per hour. Hardly a relativistic scenario. Both Alice and Bob have a surface of simultaneity, the set of events they consider to be happening right now. At the location where they meet, their surfaces of simultaneity agree. They both consider the events in their immediate vicinity to be happening simultaneously, but their surfaces of simultaneity are tilted relative to each other. Even at walking speed, Bob's surface of simultaneity is slightly tilted compared to Alice's. The tilt is tiny, completely unmeasurable at the scale of ordinary human experience. At walking speed, in your immediate environment, the difference is utterly negligible. But extend this across cosmic distances. The Andromeda galaxy is approximately 5 million light years away. Alice's surface of simultaneity, extended to Andromeda, picks out a particular set of events happening right now in Andromeda. Bob's surface of simultaneity, tilted by just his slow walking speed, extended to Andromeda, picks out a different set of events that are approximately 40,000 years away from Alice's now in Andromeda. Alice and Bob are standing next to each other. They are moving at walking speed relative to each other, and they disagree about what is happening right now in Andromeda by 40,000 years. Walk in the other direction, and the disagreement shifts 40,000 years the other way, which means that for Bob walking in one direction, events that are 40,000 years in what Alice calls Andromeda's future are part of Bob's present. They are happening right now for Bob. If the present is what exists, if only present events are real, then events 40,000 years in Andromeda's future are real right now for Bob. They exist. They are already there. The future of Andromeda, a future that has not happened yet from Alice's perspective, already exists from Bob's. It can be argued that special relativity eliminates the concept of absolute simultaneity in a universal present. According to the relativity of simultaneity, observers in different frames of reference can have different measurements of whether a given pair of events happened at the same time or at different times, with there being no physical basis for preferring one frame's judgments over those of another. There's no physical basis for saying Alice's perspective is correct and Bob's is wrong. They are both valid reference frames. Both are equally correct descriptions of the same physical universe, which means the events 40,000 years in Andromeda's future are real. They already exist. The future is already there. At this point, you're probably feeling one of two things. Either this is the most convincing argument you have ever encountered, or you're looking for the escape hatch, the objection that makes it go away. The most common objection is this. Maybe the relativity of simultaneity just shows that simultaneity is a conventional, observer-dependent description, not a fact about what exists. Maybe asking what exists right now in Andromeda is simply not a well-defined question, and the different answers that different observers give just reflect the ambiguity of the question, not a genuine fact about reality. This is a serious objection. Philosophers have debated it for decades. Some philosophers have made objections to eternalism based on the existence of the self. Dean Zimmerman and others argue for a single privileged frame whose judgments about length, time, and simultaneity are the true ones, even if there is no empirical way to distinguish this frame. But this escape route has a serious problem. If you postulate a privileged reference frame, a special frame in which the true simultaneous events are defined, you are contradicting the foundational principle of special relativity, which says explicitly that no reference frame is privileged. Every attempt to rescue a universal present by positing a preferred frame ends up violating the relativity principle that is confirmed by every experiment we have ever done. Christian Wutherick argues that supporters of presentism can salvage absolute simultaneity only if they reject either empiricism or relativity. You can reject relativity, but you will be contradicting one of the most thoroughly tested theories in the history of science, a theory confirmed to extraordinary precision by GPS satellites, particle accelerators, atomic clocks on aircraft, and hundreds of other experiments. The price of saving a universal present moment is abandoning the best confirmed physics we have. Most physicists are not willing to pay that price. But let me take the other most serious challenge to the block universe directly, because intellectual honesty demands it. The block universe says past, present, and future are equally real and equally fixed. Every event already exists as a coordinate in four-dimensional space-time. Nothing is truly becoming. Nothing is truly new. The universe simply is static, complete, timeless. If this is true, then quantum mechanics has a serious problem. Quantum mechanics describes the world in terms of probability, waves, wave functions that specify the probability of each possible outcome when a measurement is made. Before a measurement, the particle exists in a superposition of all possible states. When you measure it, the wave function collapses to a single definite outcome. Something genuinely new comes into existence, a definite value where before there was only probability. Quantum mechanics suggests inherent unpredictability and indeterminism, which contradicts the static view of the block universe. According to quantum mechanics, particles exist in a state of probabilities until measured, introducing uncertainty. If the future already exists as a fixed coordinate in the block, how can quantum mechanics be indeterminate? How can there be genuine probability if the outcome is already written into the four-dimensional geometry of space-time? This tension between the block universe of relativity and the indeterminism of quantum mechanics is one of the deepest unresolved problems in theoretical physics. It is not a problem with a clean solution. The two theories are pulling in different directions. Relativity says the future is fixed. Quantum mechanics says it is genuinely open. The growing block view is an alternative to both eternalism and presentism. It holds that the past and present are equally real, while the future is simply nothing at all. Nothing has happened to the present by becoming past except that fresh slices of existence have been added to the total history of the world. Some physicists favor a middle position, the growing block. The past and present are fixed and real. The future is genuinely open, not yet written into the structure of space-time. Reality grows from past to future, adding new slices of existence at each moment. This preserves the indeterminism of quantum mechanics, but it reintroduces the problem of a universal present, a boundary between the real past and the unreal future that must be the same for all observers. And that universal present conflicts with the relativity of simultaneity. The honest answer is that we do not yet have a complete unified theory that fully resolves this tension. Quantum gravity, the theory that will eventually unify quantum mechanics and general relativity, may change the picture in ways we cannot currently anticipate. What I want you to take from all of this is not a single definitive answer, because the physics does not yet give us one. What I want you to take is the weight of what the question actually is. The question is not just when the future will happen. The question is whether the future exists at all. And the answer that special relativity points toward, the answer that follows from the most thoroughly tested physical theory we have, is that it does. In general relativity, all of space-time exists forever. The past still exists and the future already exists. In GR, time is kind of like space. Think about what this means for your life. The moment 10 years from now when you will be somewhere doing something, that moment already exists as a coordinate in the four-dimensional structure of space-time. You're not creating it by living toward it. You're moving toward it the way you move through space toward a destination that is already there. Every conversation you will ever have, every experience you will ever feel, every moment of joy and grief, an ordinary Tuesday afternoon that lies ahead of you. All of it already exists, not as a prediction, not as a probability, as a fixed coordinate in space-time. The block universe is already filled with every event that ever happens. The past, present, and future coexist simultaneously, not as classically flowing linearly from one to the other. As such, these three distinct aspects to time are equally real. None is in any way advantaged over the others. Your entire life, from the moment of your birth to the moment of your death, is not a sequence of events unfolding one after another. It is a four-dimensional object, a shape in space-time, a world line stretching from one coordinate to another, complete, already there, fully real at every point along its length. The you that is 10 years older is not waiting in a future that has not yet been created. That version of you already exists at a different coordinate in the block, separated from where you are now by the same kind of distance that separates different locations in space. Let me end with something personal, because I think the human meaning of this idea matters as much as the physics. When I think about the people I have lost, colleagues, friends, family, the block universe offers something strange and unexpected. Something that I'm not sure is comfort, but is something those people still exist. Not in memory, not in some metaphysical afterlife. As coordinates in the four-dimensional structure of spacetime. The moments I shared with them are fixed and real and permanent in the geometry of the block. My father died when I was young, but in GR he is still there, just at a different location in time than I am. The past does not disappear. The past is as real and as permanent as any location in space. The future does not wait to be created. It already exists. Time is not a river carrying you from birth to death and then into nothing. Time is a dimension, and your entire life, every moment of it, past and future, is already written into the geometry of space-time. The future may already exist. And if it does, then nothing you have ever experienced is truly gone, and nothing that lies ahead of you is truly absent. It is all already there, fixed, real, permanent. In the only universe physics has ever been able to describe.